Hey guys, we are in Chapter 2, Section 1. We're looking at relations and functions, and we're at the second part of it. So here, we don't need to worry about these first 4 learning objectives. We covered them in Part 1. In this part, we are looking at these last 2. So I can use function notation, and I can write and evaluate a function. Alright, so some vocab. A function rule is an equation that represents an output value in terms of an input value. Function notation is an equation which uses f of x in place of the output variable. So again, I'm going to write it down here just so you know how to read it. We read this f of x. So that's how we read this right here. We're not going to say f parentheses x close parentheses. It's f of x. The independent variable is our x. It's the input of a function. The dependent variable is our y. It's the output of a function, and it depends on the input. So I want you to think of some real-life situations where we have 2 variables and where one depends on the other. So, for example, maybe you can say your salary or your paycheck, I guess. The amount on your paycheck depends on hours worked. So here, our independent variable would be our hours worked, because you can work as many hours as you want to. Maybe you go home early one day, maybe you're sick and you call out, or maybe you pick up an extra couple hours. And then your salary, or what's on your paycheck, that depends on how much you worked. So the salary, or the money on your paycheck, that would be your dependent variable because it depends on something else, and your hours worked would be your independent variable. Maybe also we could be talking about different type of animals and their number of legs. So depending on what type of animal we're talking about, well, the number of its legs depends on what type of animal. So just come up with a few so you kind of understand about independent and dependent variables. Alright, so let's use function notation. So it says for f of x equals 3x minus 4 all divided by 2, what is the output for the given input? Okay, so remember, input refers to x, output refers to y. F of x is really just a fancy way of saying y. So I'm going to rewrite our function below. F of x equals 3x minus 4 divided by 2. And the first thing you want to know is that this f of x, like I said, it's just y. So we don't have a y value to plug in. What we have is an x value. X equals 2. So I'm going to say y is equal, because I replaced f of x with y is equal to 3 times x. So I'm going to put parentheses here. 2 is my x, so I'm going to put 2 in its place, close parentheses, minus 4, all divided by 2. Alright, so now I'm just finding out what is y equal to when x is equal to 2. So I'm just going to do the math here. 3 times 2, 6 minus 4 divided by 2. So y equals 6 minus 4 is 2 divided by 2. Y equals 1. So the question that says what is the output for the given input? Well, our output is 1, because output refers to y. If I wanted to write my answer as an ordered pair, my ordered pair would be 2, 1. Let's look at B. So x equals 1.5. So again, I have f of x is equal to 3 parentheses 1.5 minus 4 divided by 2. F of x, again, is really just y. So y equals 3 times 1.5 is 4.5 minus 4 divided by 2. So y equals 4.5 minus 4 is 0.5 divided by 2. And this looks really weird. I mean, you can put it in your calculator this way, but I'm going to change 0.5 as a fraction, and I'm going to say this is 1/2 divided by 2. And we know you can keep it, switch it, flip it. So this is really 1/2 and times, oh, I wrote multiply again. That should be times. Let's erase that. Times 1/2. So y is equal to 1/4. So my output here is 1/4. So if it's just wanting to know the output, that would be 1/4. And if it wants to know an ordered pair, that would be 1.5 for x, because we plugged that in, and 1/4 or 0.25 for y. All right, let's look at this last one. So here f of x is equal to 3 times negative 4 minus 4, all divided by 2. So remember, f of x is really just y. So y equals, doing the math here, multiply first, so you get negative 12 minus 4 divided by 2. Do your subtraction. So negative 12 minus 4 is negative 16. And then divide by 2, and we get y is equal to negative 8. So here your output is negative 8, and the ordered pair would be negative 4, since that was our input, and then our output is negative 8. Alright, so now I want you to try. So here's your function, f of x equals negative 2x plus 5. I want to find the output for the given input. So for all three, a, b, and c, I want to see ordered pairs as your final answer. Show me the work, show me your function, I want to see you plug it in, I want to see the work for that, and then I want to see an ordered pair as your answer. Alright, so now we're going to write and evaluate our function, our last objective. So our first step to do this is we will define variables. And when it says define variables, if you need to use a variable, you also need to let me know what that variable stands for. So you'll define it. Step 2, we are going to create a function rule. And a function rule, that's just a function. It's an equation. Step 3, we'll substitute in the desired input. Alright, so tickets to a concert are available online for $35 each. Alright, so $35 each. Each indicates multiplication. Plus, oh, well, that's a plus sign, a handling fee of $2.50. So it's like a one-time fee, $2.50. The total cost, that's indicating some kind of equal sign, is a function of the number of tickets bought. What function rule models the cost of the concert tickets? Then evaluate the function for 4 tickets. So first we're going to focus on writing our function rule. So step 1, define the variables. Alright, well, it looks like we're talking about tickets. And then we want to find out the total cost. Well, the total cost depends on number of tickets. So I know my number of tickets is going to be my x, and my total cost is going to be my y. Alright, so the rule itself, the total cost, so y, is equal to, it says $35 each ticket. So 35x plus a handling fee of $2.50. So 2.5. Alright, so this is my function rule. Here's my function rule. Now I want to evaluate. So evaluate says substitute the desired input value. So y is equal to 35 times x, which is 4, plus 2.5. And now I just need to solve for y. So y is equal to 35 times 4. Well, 35 times 2 is 70, and 70 times 2 is 140, plus 2.5. I need more room. Let me scroll up. So y is going to be equal to 142.5. And y is talking about dollars, so I'm going to say 0 on the end, put a dollar sign, so $142.50. Now I do want to, so that's my answer for evaluating the function. I do want to note on here that it did ask me for a function rule. So right up here, I guess I want to scratch this out or erase this. Can I erase it? No. So I'm going to scratch it out. Maybe. Here we go. And I'm going to write f of x. That way it's written as a function. It's in function notation. And we know y stands for f of x. So here we have f of x equals 35 times x plus 2.5. All right, so your turn. Try this one. Follow the same steps as before. I want to see your function rule, and then I want to see you evaluate your function for 15 bottles. That's it, you guys. See you in class.